YouTube's biggest stars. California, by way of Cleveland, Ohio. Here is Jake, the problem child.
From Jake Paul, and that is what you call a turning point, folks. Okay, a minute and a half left here in round 5, and Jake's looking for the finish. He's finished. He's hurt. On the run. Jake Paul pulling on here.
He didn't pay me, he didn't pay me. Where's the lawsuit? If you didn't get paid, where's the lawsuit? So it's a bunch of bullshit. But like I said before, they know what they're doing. Both brothers, Logan as well as Jake, they know what they're doing. So they're doing what they got to do.
Mike Tyson, second round knockout. One of the most second round real knockout, not just a fake knockout. And after the first round, I don't think Jake probably gonna try to run, but he can't run from Mike. Mike is serious business. When he go in there for real. He hungry too. Mike is hungry as a mother.
Jake Paul has allegedly recruited Floyd Mayweather's help for his upcoming match with boxing legend Mike Tyson. Meanwhile, Shannon Briggs, a former heavyweight champion, looks assured in Mike's abilities to give tough competition to a much younger Jake Paul, based on Mike's tenacious spirit, mental prowess, and experience over the controversial YouTuber turned professional boxer. Shannon stated, "This fight is great for both of them. It might not be a safe fight for him, but he can knock Jake out, and Jake can knock him out. He is a grown man, but he going to get hit by another grown man." Having trained both Jake Paul and his brother Logan Paul, who is also a professional boxer, Shannon thinks that it is quite exceptional how far they have come despite people crucifying them for their controversial past and recent dramas.
I used to train both of them. I started them out. Yeah, I hooked them up with their first trainer. They're doing well, man. I'm very happy for them and their success, and they're doing good, man. Think about it. It was just some YouTube kids, and here they went, fought the great Floyd Mayweather and now Mike Tyson, the two biggest guys in the sport. So
Shannon weighed on the fact that though people are bound to speculate about the true intentions of Mike by taking such a strenuous fight this late in his career, even after his health has started to deteriorate, however, there seems to be no doubt that this will bring in a lot of profit, which can persuade even a fighter like Mike to come out of retirement. Shannon added, "It's great for Mike, making some money at his age, to be able to make millions of dollars. Have exhibitions, that's what he's supposed to do? Why wouldn't he? If you can do a 100 of them, if they're gonna pay you to do it." Shannon also reflected back to a recent encounter that he had with Mike in the streets of Brownsville, New York, where he had a friendly scrabble with him, stating that during this goofing around, he observed the old Mike come back with all his vigor and brawn, despite being almost 60 and being in out of the ring for more than 2 decades.
Tyson versus Shannon Briggs. Let's go, Jack.
Recalling this, Shannon stated, "We had a street fight in the street. That my boy, it was all love. I got a little hand on him and he got a hand on me. We were just sizing each other." Now with Mike looking to be in relatively good shape despite suffering countless health issues, mainly his flaring ulcer which postponed the fight in the first place, people have mixed reactions about whether Mike still has the robustness and suaveness that he once held, or has it diminished with his age. Considering these vast possibilities surrounding the turnout of this lucrative matchup, many icons and boxing personalities from Mike's era of boxing have also spoken about this fight, including boxing giant Evander Holyfield, according to whom this fight depends on the skill and boxing IQ that Jake will ultimately show inside the ring. Evander thinks that the most important strategy that Jake has to utilize against a fighter like Tyson is to get as close as possible to reduce the area between them so he can cage Mike, restricting his movements and the possibility of a deadly punch that Mike is known for. Holyfield said, "It's all about the confidence the other guy has. I don't know how much confidence Jake Paul has and all that, but he has to be a lot quicker, and if he stays close to Mike, then his chance of winning is going to be great, but if he tried to stay back for Mike, he is going to get caught." Having faced Kid Dynamite while he was still in his prime, Evander emphasized the strategy that Mike always uses, which appears to be almost serpentine, as he locks out his opponent and then lunges at them with full force, not giving them a moment to recover while he showers them with his blows, forcing them to go down.
Mike is like a snake. He'll pop out on you. He get there too quick.
But if you charge him, you're gonna smother everything, because everything he push off his legs. He push off his legs so he too close. Like this, but if you give him room, I mean, everybody get knocked out going backwards. Like this, and you give him in the room, you're gonna be on you. Mike is like a snake. He'll pop out on you. He get there too quick. But if you charge him, you're gonna smother everything, because everything he push off his legs. He push off his legs so he too close. Like this, but if you give him room, I mean, everybody get knocked out going backwards. Like this, and you give him in the room, you're gonna be.
On the other hand, Holyfield also had an encounter with Jake inside the ring when the young boxer was just starting his career in the shape of a supposed sparring session in preparation for his fight with Tyson Woodley, which he ultimately ended up winning with a striking knockout. Comparing these clips that surfaced to the Jake that we have now, the difference is striking, as not only does his body language seem to be much more self-assured, but the aura that Jake now exudes seems to be that of a professional.
Mike is like a snake. He'll pop out on you. He get there too quick. But if you charge him, you're gonna smother everything, because everything he push off his legs. He push off his legs so he too close. Like this, but if you give him room, I mean, everybody get knocked out going backwards. Like this, and you give him in the room, you're gonna be.
Evander commented on how the game of boxing greatly depends on the mindset of the fighter, as once they have a particular opportunity or target locked in, all they have to do is make it their anchor and give their best without doubting their capabilities so they can prevail in the end. He stated, "The thing is, you don't get in these things if you don't believe that you can win. That's my whole point, as I ain't never get in when I ain't think I can win. Every time I ever got in the ring, I thought I was going to win." He further added, "So the big thing is, that's the whole process of being a true fighter. You go in and you give your all." Contrary to all expectations, Jake has relatively improved his position among his colleagues and boxing fans after securing a knockout victory against a young and brash fighter like Mike Perry, which, though many people thought was still not enough, is somewhat of an improvement from the past opponents that Jake fought in his rather new boxing career. In the bout that took place on Saturday night, this notorious YouTuber turned boxer came out victorious in the end, which might have given some rest to the rumors about Jake's poor choice of opponents for some time, but there still remains some cynicism due to the sheer size difference between him and Mike Perry, and Perry's lack of experience when it comes to anything other than bare-knuckle boxing. Ignoring this criticism as biased opinions, Jake appears to be laser-focused on his upcoming task to fight Mike, and for this, he has allegedly employed the help of boxing giant Floyd Mayweather. From countless reports from notable sources, Jake has been having frequent visits to Floyd's exclusive gym, where he is getting first-class coaching and priming from the undefeated champ himself. Mayweather, while commenting about this rather bizarre pairing, thinks that his training with Jake will be quite different from Jake's customary approach, and moving on, they will focus on building his defense expertise and strategic skills, which appeared to be lacking in his past bouts. Despite sharing a rather estranged relationship with Jake's brother Logan, after the whole debacle about them having an unfinished match and the drama that followed, Floyd seems to have let bygones be bygones, as he now focused on the task of training Jake for the challenge he is about to face.
His brother was like, "Oh, I didn't get paid. It was just like I said before." He just want to keep his name out there. You know, as long as he attached his name to mine, he's gonna keep my name out there. Remember what he said? He said, "Oh, Mayweather ain't gonna. He didn't pay me. Didn't pay me. Where's the lawsuit? If you didn't get paid, where's the lawsuit?" So it's a bunch of bullshit. But like I said before, they know what they're doing. Both brothers. Logan as well as Jake, they know what they're doing, so they're doing what they got to do.
Floyd, after witnessing the progress that Jake has made, weighed in on how this training session with Jake will provide him with all the insight that he could possibly need before he goes inside the ring to face his next opponent, especially when that opponent tends to be the reigning king of boxing of his era.
So right now, for what he's doing, it's good for what he's doing. But once he fights a real fighter, it's going to be bad.
Have you been impressed?
But one thing I like about him, one thing I do like about him, he's selling it. He's selling it, and he's making good money, and he's entertaining. I like it.
However, this fight still seems to be clouded with a lot of controversies even from within the fighting community, especially when you consider Mike's old age, and the fact that he recently had to be hospitalized due to various health conditions that might become life-threatening if he decides to face Jake on November 15th. Dana White, the CEO of UFC and someone who is known for his blunt takes and zero-tolerance attitude, thinks that it is utterly disgusting and a disgrace to the sport that a fight like this is being continuously perpetuated perpetuated when deep down everyone knows about the long-lasting consequences it can have on Mike, both mentally and physically. Dana stated, "I think that Mike Tyson has a puncher chance against anybody because Mike's 58 years old. I hate doing this because Mike gets mad at me every time I do this, but Mike shouldn't be." Fighting. Not holding back his shots, Dana pointed out the fact that though Jake has had some minor highlights in his diminutive professional career, he is still nowhere near the level that he deludes himself to be, as he is still fighting guys who are either way past their prime, like Mike and Anderson Silva, or he is going after guys who are smaller than him and are relatively new to boxing, with the prime example being that of his most recent bout with Mike Perry. Dana stated, "When Jake fought a guy who was his age, and was also considered a boxer, and he lost, so if you can keep fighting Raychorks, 50-something-year-olds and making a living out of it, it is wrong." Commenting on the marketability of this fight, Dana thinks that the perception that Jake's team seems to have that this fight will garner more hype because of them is almost hysterical, as the reality is the complete opposite, because though people might be concerned about Mike's health, they cannot wait to see him inside the ring after 19 years of rest, as he finally gives a gratifying end to the buildup that has been going on since the start of this year. He stated, "In reality, Jake needs these guys. Jake needs Tyson, and needs all these other people that he chooses to fight. Everybody's going to tune in to hope that Mike Tyson knocks him out. They're not tuning in because they think Jake Paul's a great fighter, and they want to see him compete." Moving on, right after this unanticipated fight was announced, the reaction was anything but positive, with most of the hostility directed at Jake for even agreeing to such a pitiful fight. But as pointed out countless times, this is not new and seems to be a deep-rooted pattern exhibited by Jake, which has gained worldwide scrutiny after Jake's intentions became more crystal clear. This step has resulted in Jake being treated as an outcast by most of the boxing community and hardcore fan base, who have an unshakable respect for not only the support, but the old veterans as well. Being on the same page, even big boxing promoters who usually jump at the opportunity of orchestrating a fight like this have spoken out on the outlandish prospect of a new fighter going against an old legend who has been away from the whole scene. Eddie Hearn, being on the top of the list, has called it a very sad thing that this fight was even considered in the first place, as by looking at it from Jake's perspective, it might come back to haunt him, as he will not gain any respect or credibility from a fight like this, especially considering his past exploits as well.
I'm a hardcore boxing fan, he's one of my heroes. I find it very sad, but it's a big event. I understand people are going to watch it, and it's entertainment, I guess, but for someone that idolised the guy growing up, yeah, not the best day.
Do you think Jake Paul gets any credibility if he beats Mike Tyson?
He's 58 years old.
Eddie, like many others, also shares the same concerns over Mike's health, pushing down on the fact that though Mike or the people around him may have not given this head, it is still a very grave issue, which at the end of the day is not worth any amount of money, because he is going to go out there with the potential threat to his life looming above throughout the match. Eddie also pondered over the fact that even before he retired, the fire that made Mike Tyson a ferocious beast inside the ring had gone out, particularly in his last fights, where he himself admitted that he finally had enough of this lifestyle, so for him to come back 20 years later is not something favorable.
For someone of 58 years old to be fighting. I mean, the reality is that Mike Tyson was a shot fighter when he left the sport. And that was, what, 20 years ago? What do you think, he's improved? He's no, I mean, you're gonna deteriorate so bad over that period that if you go back and watch his last few fights, he was done, gone. So to see him in the ring, what, 20 years later, and now to see this later, you know, I just, if they're gonna do it, I really hope that he, if they're gonna do it, I really hope that he can get through it safely, because it's, you know, not one that's it.
Undeterred by this unsettlement, Mike is seen training and sparring with partners at every opportunity, disputing any claims about him being not the fighter that he once was. Known for his impregnable defense and commanding punches, there's not one who has the ability to intimidate his opponent the way Mike is known. So it is no surprise that, taking advantage of modern-day technology, this old-school fighter has tweeted a countdown of the fight with a rather domineering video while watching Jake's match against Mike Perry, which has fans hyped up once again in anticipation of what he will do on the fateful day. Noticing the reflection of the same old Mike, people have somewhat started to believe that he will be able to hold himself against a rookie fighter like Jake, while depending solely on his vast experience and fighting aptitude, which has proved to be his greatest strength during his prime. Looking at this fight as more of an opportunity for Mike to finally quench his thirst after such a long break, Sam Watson, a notable personality in boxing, believes that this fight will not go long, and Jake will face outright annihilation from Mike's hand in the first couple of rounds, and if by some sheer luck he still manages to last a bit longer, his defeat is imminent, as he has awakened a beast that he can't tame. Sam stated, "Mike Tyson wins in the second round by knockout, and this will be a real knockout, not just a fake knockout. I don't think Jake would have a chance." He further added, "Jake will probably try to run, but he can't run from Mike. Mike is serious business when he goes in there. He goes in there for real, and he is hungry too. Mike is a hungry mother." Irrespective of being the younger fighter, it appears as if the problem child might not have such an easy time against Mike, as he concludes it to be, because no matter the odds, Mike is still a once-in-a-lifetime legend whose strength comes from his soul, and if he is able to muster even a speck of his old intensity, the wins will be in his favor no matter what Jake tries to throw his way. Confident about Mike's abilities, Fernando Vargas, a legendary fighter on his own, also pays homage to Mike, stating that he is not going to shy away from this challenge, as it's not in his nature. So this consistent appeal towards Mike to give up will only result in him being more driven than before to go inside the ring on the decisive day of his match with Jake Paul. Fernando stated, "Mike got a one-hitter-quitter power forever till he passes away, and so at the end of the day, I don't think that Jake Paul's ever been hit with anything with that type of power." He added, "I think that Mike still gots it, and at the end of the day, I think that Mike is still relevant when it comes to him putting on the show." So in the end, what do you guys think about this upcoming match and Jake's decision to team up with a former champion like Floyd? Will it aid him in his quest for greatness, or is Mike just too far off from his reach? Or is it Mike who will be the one facing the consequences of this fight for the days to come? Make sure to tell us about your thoughts in the comments below, and if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel.